The Lexus LS might be the most important vehicle that Lexus manufactures. However, after the 2026 model year, they are canceling the vehicle. This has been in production for well over 30 years. It was getting close to its 40-year mark, and it spanned over 5 different generations. So today we're going to be taking a look at a little bit of a retrospect of what the LS was, why it was so great, why it's going away, and a possible future for the brand of Lexus. So let's start off with why the LS is so important, and it all goes back to this little L at the back of the car. Back in the 1980s, Japanese automakers were killing it here in America. We wanted small, efficient cars, and Japan answered the call with their very affordable, very reliable, small, efficient cars. Toyota particularly was owning the American Big Three, and so America was starting to get a little bit annoyed with it. Mostly the union workers at the Big Three. They were losing out hand over fist to Toyota. So in order to stay in America's good graces, Toyota and the Japanese government decided to limit how many cars they would sell in the United States, or how many they would ship over. They thought this would alleviate a little bit of pressure and make the Big Three happy. However, Toyota didn't want to lose any money, so they developed a sub-brand called Lexus that would actually go up above Toyota. These cars would sell for more money per unit, so Toyota wouldn't lose any money while also sending fewer vehicles to the United States of America. They decided to launch the Lexus brand in 1989 for the 1990 model year with 2 vehicles. The ES250, which was essentially a rebadged Camry, but also the LS400. That vehicle featured a 4.0-liter V8 and was unlike anything that we had seen here in the United States before. Now, it was sold over in Japan as the Toyota Celsior, but this to us was a brand new vehicle, and they sold like hotcakes. Not only was Toyota eating America's lunch, but they also started eating the Germans' lunch. Throughout the first 2 generations, which were very similar, this car absolutely dominated the luxury space. They weren't nearly as flashy or as loud as the BMW and Mercedes counterparts, but they were built better. Every fastener had 2 bolts. Everything that needed to be bolted down was triple and quadruple checked. The cars were built to a lot higher of a standard, and the sales reflected that. A lot of people bought that. The ES250 back in 1990 didn't sell a whole lot, but the LS400 did, and so the LS is responsible for the Lexus name really existing at all. If both the ES and LS flopped, then they probably wouldn't have carried on here in the United States. Now, the LS lasted through 5 different generations. I've driven them all. They are wonderfully crafted automobiles. After the first 2 generations, they started to care a little bit less about build quality, but that's not to say it hit the floor. Think of just going from 100% to 91%. They started offering hybrid models throughout the late 2000s and long wheelbase versions with the executive seat package. And this was the flagship top version of the Lexus. When you thought Lexus, you thought LS, and if you couldn't afford one, then you would seek out one of the lower models. But this was the top dog, and this is what gave Lexus their name. So if this was Lexus's baby, if this is what launched the brand as a whole, why are they discontinuing it? Why are they abandoning their golden child? Well, there's one main reason. It's not really selling all that well anymore. Back in 1990, the original LS400 sold almost 64,000 units in its very first model year. This, a 2025 Lexus LS500, in the year of 2025, they've sold 900. Just about 900 of them, which is not a very big number, especially when it comes to how much engineering and how long the process takes to build each one. Now, Lexus is still making a little profit off of these, and they are expensive vehicles, but that's not why they're canceling it. Yes, this car in the video is a $95,000 sedan. This is a pricey automobile. However, it scales with inflation of what the older LSs cost, and Lexus sells a lot more expensive vehicles in higher volume. Honestly, the reason this car is going away is because of vehicles like the LX and the GX. People want SUVs right now. And I know you might be sitting there behind your computer screen and saying, well, Zach, I want a sedan. I want a luxury sedan. I'm sure you do. I want one of these. I would love to own one of these. I can't afford one of these. And so the people that are actually writing the checks and swiping the cards, those people want SUVs. And so that's the way that the market is going. No matter how much heritage, no matter how much this car helped launch the Lexus brand, they're not going to keep making it just for heritage sake. They're not going to keep making it just because. They're not going to keep making it even though it means a lot to them. You know, this is going to be hung up in the rafters with some of their greatest vehicles ever made. It's not enough to warrant more research and development. And so when people want SUVs and not sedans, they're going to stop making sedans. And that's the fate of this LS. And so there is a slight glimmer of hope. The LS name carries so much weight for Lexus that I don't think they would ever truly get rid of it. I think this iteration and how we know the LS as of now is going to go away. But I think we might see some type of resurrection, whether that be a full-size electric sedan to compete with Lucid, or maybe we'll see it as this weird people mover concept that they debuted in Tokyo. Maybe we will get some type of version of the LS. It just might not be what it looks like here today. And so I think that's a big shame. This is such a lovely automobile. It's great to drive. It has lovely features. It is class out the ass. And yet that's not enough to save it. Not enough people bought these. I mean, that's just the sad truth of it. And again, you cannot blame the price. Yes, this is $95,000. However, the LS has always been the most expensive. It's always been the top dog, and it's always been reserved for people who are willing to throw down a check without looking twice. It's just the style of car that people don't really want. And for the same money, you can get an amazing three-row SUV. It's gonna have more presence, be more capable, have the same great features. Starts to leave you in the dust. Thank you, Lexus LS, for all that you did. We might not have Lexuses running around here in the United States if it weren't for the original. I think it's time for a well-deserved rest. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what Lexus should do. Should they put this back into production? Should they make an EV? Should they make it the six-wheeled thingy-mabobber they saw in Tokyo? I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, take care, everyone.